So friends, Tony here, welcome. In this video I'm going to work with TypeScript on React. So we can use TypeScript on React. Here I have created a Next.js project, which is a default one. We have an empty components directory here and the page.tsx. So in the app directory we have layout and page.tsx. Here I have removed everything and just leave this has one element saying home here, and we have home here. Good. Now, instead of this one, I'm going to create a new component in this components directory, and I'm going to name it, let's name it header.tsx. And this is going to be a React arrow function with export header. And instead of header here, I'm going to say, let's add some classes first. So class name to be text 3xl, text with indigo 700, and also I'm going to say this is going to be a font of semi-bold we have here, and let's say welcome. Okay, now let's use this in here. So instead of the heads one, I'm going to use that component, so the header component. I'm going to self-close that. If I save and let's see on the browser, we have welcome here. Okay, but instead of self-closing and putting the text here, I want to put the text in here. So for example, use this as an element, and here I'm going to say welcome. Okay, now we have this underline error. Let's save and let's go to header.tsx. First, I'm going to say we're going to receive props in here, and props I'm going to say it's going to be children. I'm going to destruct children. And children is going to be a type of string. Okay, and here we can say props.children. Save here. We don't have any error because here we have a string, and if we see, we have a welcome. What if I add a span? If we add a span, welcome, save, we have another line error. The children, as you can see here, is a string, and we put here a span. We can change that from string to be a React node. Now, as you can see, we don't have error here, and also we don't have error here, and we see we have the welcome. Now, because we use React node on children, also if I just put the welcome, we don't have errors here. Okay, so when we use TypeScript and we want to add a children is going to be a React node type. Okay, I'm going to create a new component here, and I'm going to name it this is going to be a card component, so card.tsx, and also this one is going to be a React arrow function component card. Okay, now I'm going to copy here in the flowbyte. I have open cards, and I'm going to copy this one, which is this example, and let's put that in here. Yeah, we need to change the class to be class name. Okay, let's save, and now on the page.tsx down there I'm going to use the card. So let's say card, and I'm going to self-close. Good. Come here, and yeah, we have something like this. Okay, what if I want also the card to be used the same way? So I want to close the card like this, and inside, for example, we can add some lorem ipsum. We have an underline error because we haven't defined the children. So I'm going to save that and go to card, or we can go here and we can do the same thing. So I'm going to copy this, go to card, inside, paste that in, and here when we have a paragraph, I'm going to, instead of this hard-coded, I'm going to add props children. If I save this, here we don't have any error. Also, here we don't have any error, and if I see, yeah, we have lorem ipsum here. What about the title? So we can say, also add another one here. I'm going to say title, and this is going to be a card title. And yeah, we have now an underline error because type children string and title string is not assignable to type just children React node. Okay, I'm going to save this and let's go to card now. And here we have props children to be React node, and also I'm going to say title to be a string, as you can see here. Good. Then here on the h5, let's close this one. On the h5, instead of this one, I'm going to add the props.title. Save, come here, everything works correctly, as you can see. Also on the page.tsx, we don't have any error. We can also remove entirely these props and distract the children and the title. So I'm going to say children and the title. And this show is going to be a type of children React node and title string. We have distract the children and the title, and now we can say here just title and children. Save, come here, refresh, everything works. See the page.tsx, we don't have any error. But I don't like this way. I prefer to create a type here. So we can create a type alias here. So for example, props, or better to be so named card props. So children is going to be React node and title string. So the same thing we have down there, but instead of this object, okay, so we have here this object, which is the same as this object here. We have created this alias. So instead of this, we can add the card props. And now it's the same. But as you can see, it's looking more nice here. And we don't have any error. Everything renders correctly. Okay, with that now, we can come here, for example, and create a constant. And I'm going to name it a background color. And this is going to be equal with, for example, I'm going to say to be red. Okay. And then I'm going to add that one here. So background color to be a background color, but we have an underline error because we need to go to card.tsx and accept also that one. So I'm going to distract the background color, but we have an underline error first. The background color is declared, but its value is never read, and then the property background color does not exist on type card props. But here we can fix that, so we can say the background color to be a string. Now the underline error goes away. Then I will create here, let's create a constant to be style, and here I will apply the background color to be the same as this one. And also, for example, I'm going to say padding 1 rm, margin bottom 1 rm. And then I will apply here on this anchor tag. So I'm going to say style to be style. If I save and let's see on the browser, we have this card. Okay, that is good. Let's go and change the background color in here to be not red, but I'm going to say green. Yeah, we have green. Okay, let's come here and I'm going to add another constant. I'm going to say const color to be red. And then here I'm going to say color to be colored like this. Yeah, we have this underline error because we need to define on the card.tsx. So here I'm going to say also we going to accept the color of the same thing on the type. So color is going to be string, and then on the styles I'm going to say also color to be a color. Yeah, we need to change here on the paragraph. I'm going to remove this, and yeah, now we have a red color, but it's not looking good. So what I want is to have only the, for example, a black, white colors. How we can do that? We can go to card.tsx, and here I'm going to create a new type. I'm going to say type. I will name this color, which is going to be an onion type, not red and green. I want to be aqua, for example, and let's say black. Only these two colors. Now here, when we have assigned a color to type string, I'm going to change this to be a type of color, this type we created. Okay, let's save and let's see. We don't have any errors in here in the card.tsx. This still works, but if I go to page.tsx, we have an underline error here. So type red is not assignable to type color, because on the type color we have only aqua and black. If I change the green here, the red here to be aqua, and save, we don't have an underline error. Everything works correctly, and here we have the same results. The same thing if we change that to black. If I change that to black, save, no underline error. Here we have black and everything works correctly. Now let's move this logic here. I'm going to remove these styles from the card, and also I'm going to remove the background and the color, and the same here. So I remove the color and the background, leave only the title and the children. Good. Here we have styles like this. Let's go now to page.tsx, and here we have added the color and the background. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to add directly here the style to be red, for example, color to be white or aqua or black, and you can add more here, but as you can see we have this underline error because we haven't defined the style card. So here we have just children and the title. Let's add also the style. Okay, good. Now here how we can define the style. On the page.tsx, on the style we have an object with background color red and color to be aqua. We have a special type here on React, so I'm going to say style. Yeah, we have here autocompleted react.css properties. And then we can say down there, because if I save right now, as you can see, we haven't used this. Yeah, and we have this one, but if I add style like this, we have red. Let's change that background color to be green, and now we have something like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new component in here. I'm going to name it button .tsx, and this is going to be a React arrow function component. Export. Okay, I'm going to go to buttons just to copy the an example here with some styles. So the default one, or let's copy this default one here. And then paste that one here. We need to say class name. And let's save. Let's go on the page.tsx, and I'm going to add the button right here. So the button component, I'm going to self-close, save, Command C. We have here the default button. Good. Yeah, let's remove this 2. We don't need. I will create here a function. So I'm going to create a constant and say button clicked. And yeah, just let's say console log button clicked. Okay. Okay, now here on the button, I'm going to say button clicked to be assigned to button clicked. Let's go to button, and I'm going to destruct the button clicked, which is going to be a type of, I'm going to create a button props type, and here let's create that. I'm going to say type button props. The button click is going to be a function returning void here, and then on the button I'm going to say on click button clicked. If we save, here we don't have any error. Okay, now if I come here, we have this error because on the Next.js by default we have server components. We can say here use client, and we can do the same thing on the page.tsx, use client, save, come here, and now works. We can inspect the element, go to console, and let's see if I click. Yeah, button clicked. Okay, I'm going to close this and let's start to work with state. Now here on the page.tsx, I'm going to work with states. Let's remove this one and let's create a constant. And here I'm going to say counter. Set counter to be React use state. We can import the use state directly. Okay. And then set counter to be set counter. Good. Let's save. Let's go to button.tsx, and instead of this one, I'm going to destruct the set counter. Okay. Let's remove this here for now. Okay. Now how we can, let's go to type button props and say set counter to be a function void, but we don't need that. We need this one to be a type of state here, the set counter, which is, as you can see if I hover it, is a dispatch set state action. And because we have added the default to 0, here we have a number. Okay, so the same thing we need to do here. This is not a function, the set counter. This type is going to be React dispatch, React state, set state action number. For example, now we can say here I'm going to create a function. I'm going to say update the counter, and I'm going to use this set counter. Now we don't have the counter, but we can also destruct the counter here, and here we can say the counter is going to be a type of number. Then on the page.tsx, here let's add also the counter to be the counter here. Good. on the button now. When we click, I want, so on click, we need to call this update counter. Let's save, and also I'm going to say instead of default, I'm going to display here the counter itself. So by default is 0. If I click here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's working. Okay, so let's see also another state. Let's go right here, and I'm going to say create a constant. For example, let's say we have not counter 2, but I'm going to say is loading, and set is loading, which is false. So here we have, if I hover over this is loading, the constant is loading is a boolean, as you can see. Also we have a string, so let's create another constant. So for example, title, and set is title. Now because here we have added the string home, if I hover it, we have title is a string. And if we want to change that, so let's say title to be example, no errors, okay. But if I change this from string to a number, we have underline error. So argument of type number is not assignable to parameter of type set state action string, because we have assigned that to a string here. Okay, now we have here number, boolean, string, also let's say a constant, and I'm going to say error and set error, and in use state instead of false I'm going to say null. Okay, now if I see here, this error is null. Good. And for example, if we want to display an error, the error is going to have a message or a code. So let's create a type of the error here. I'm going to create, so let's say type error type, and it's going to have a message which is going to be a string, and also I'm going to say a code which is going to be a number. Okay, and then I want to assign the error type. How we can do that? We can say in here this one is going to be error type. Yes, but now because we have assigned a null, we have this underline error, so argument of type null is not assignable to a parameter of type error type. So for example, when we get an error from the form and we need to set the error with that error, by default we set this to null. How we can use that? We can say here this is going to be error type or null. Like this, now we don't have error here and everything works correctly. Okay, I think we are okay now. The last thing, let's go to button, and this is going to be the last one, how we can work with event types. So for example, I want to receive an event here when we click here. So this is going to be, for example, event. And instead of this one, I'm going to say just console log. Let's say event. Okay, now how we can assign this event the correct type? Instead of this one, let's say in here, I'm going to change that. I'm going to say pass in an event. For example, I'm going to say just console log the event. Okay, now if I hover over this E, as you can see, this event is React mouse event HTML button element and also mouse event. So let's copy this one now. And I'm going to assign this event to this type. Okay. And we can call now here that instead of this one, we can say update counter. Okay, so this maybe you cannot remember. You need to go back and say event, the event, and we can see here the inference. This is going to be a React mouse event HTML element, HTML button element, and also mouse event. Okay friends, that's it all about this video, what I wanted to show you. And if you like such a videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much.